Good evening, friends. Namaste, viewers, and welcome to Reemarkabl, a platform that promises to bring you stories of sense and not sensationalism. The world has definitely closed in on travel, but somewhere deep down in our minds, our minds opened up to opportunities. We at Reemarkabl firmly believe that amidst all adversity comes opportunity. In fact, my previous panel that spoke about travel and tourism, the future frame, spoke very clearly about the fact that we as an industry may be bruised, may be beaten, but we're definitely not broken. The travel and tourism industry is here to stay. And it is here to stay with a very, very bright future. The previous panelists, whether it was Manish Kriplani, whether it was Shalini Jain, whether it was Rakesh Merritt or Piyush Jain, had one thing firmly embedded in their minds, that tourism cannot be written off. Our panel today is here to reiterate that fact, but with a difference. Our panel this evening defines what tourism for tomorrow truly means. These men truly mean business. And they are not here just because they are part of a reputed organization of the travel industry, whether it is Kesari Tours, whether it's Veena World, whether it's PK Holidays or Pathfinders. They are brands to be reckoned with. But these young men today are here on their own merit. They are here because they have rock solid work backing each of them. They got into business when they were convinced that travel and tourism makes perfect business sense. And after exploring world and opportunities, mind you, they decided that this is their way forward. What's terrific about them is that they refused to live in their own comfort zones, and they believed in taking on the challenge of today to re-establish a confident tomorrow. I remember Neeraj Gupta's post. He said confidently in one of his FB posts that hang in there, guys. There's beautiful journeys awaiting you post the world which is vaccinated. So hang in there, Neeraj. We take your message. We are all hanging in there with absolute positivity. Global tourism has, needless to say, it has suffered. We'll be lying to say if it didn't suffer. 2020, as per UNWTO, was termed as the worst year for tourism, with arrivals dropping by 74% and destinations worldwide welcomed 1 billion fewer international arrivals compared to 2019. But however, our story today is not about doom. As I said, it's about bloom. And this bloom is what these young men of our future, of this industry, are here to actually point out. They are here to give you that confidence, not because of any gyan, but because of rooted research. And the person who I bring in today on my panel as my first speaker is none other than Neil Patil.
Hi, Reema.
Hi,
Thanks a lot for that.
Yes, but before I go on, Neil, I have to say something very special about you. Neil is also the founder of Blue Cloud Technologies, which is a tech arm of Veena World. Mind you, this guy is all about technology. He is a podcast host of 3 podcasts. That's Travel, Explore, Celebrate Life, 5-minute travel tips with Neil Patil, and Chill, Bag Bharo, Nikal Pado, which is in Hindi. At work, he's responsible for the digital media work at Veena World. From recruitment training to quality control to guest experience mapping, design and user experience strategy, technology head and head of research and development for marketing and innovations. Neil, you have your plate full, I can see that. So much of responsibility on your shoulders, and I'm sure you're doing it to the T with perfection. Why I had to read this biodata out, because interestingly, you're all about understanding algorithms. You're all about understanding where the mindset of the people are for the future, Neil. Neil, hence, it's so important for us, for you to tell me, I want to learn from you. Number one, I want to learn from you where exactly my future is for my travel, where my future is for my kids. They're 16, they're 9, they have to explore the world. Neil, you need to handhold the youth today and tell them travel is for you and travel is all set to roll. As a legacy player, Neil, you have understood the pulse of the market. You have a dynamic portfolio and you are connected to your clients with market segment understanding and technology. Neil, what's the future and the trend according to you? The platform is all yours. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Reema. First of all, I'll address it by saying that what is the future? The future starts with us not calling ourselves legacy players, because Veena World, which set up in 2013 as 35 people, grew on to 950 team members doing approximately 98,000 tourists every year pre-pandemic. So I would not call ourselves legacy players because everything we do at Veena World has evolved with the times. Now, of course, you read out the bio data, so I think I don't have much to say about it. But what we have learned over the last year or over the last couple of years has been that people invest their hard-earned money with us. And a holiday is an investment. A holiday helps you celebrate life. So it's not only on day one that that journey starts and on the seventh day, the journey ends. It starts way before that. It starts when the thought of traveling comes to your head. And as a result, as you read out 3 podcasts that we have started, 2 in English, 1 in Hindi, 1 coming in Marathi, is all about one bringing to the travelers the different experiences that they can avail at different locations in India and across the world. Like everyone over here, Arjun, Neeraj, Karan, when we are having a chat informally, when we are on some fam trips or something like that, our conversations are mostly about experiences. And that's what we have been doing over the last year or year and a half. Algorithms is one thing, technology is one thing, but our investments at the same time have been in Blue Cloud Technology, which is our technology arm. But at the same time, we have started investing heavily in training interns, because last year it so happened that many of the colleges interns weren't getting jobs because everything was shut. But we decided that, we'll take on interns every time where the travel industry has to bloom, and it's the new generation that is coming into the travel industry that should know what travel is like. So even in the pandemic, we had interns working with us, for us, training as tour managers and all of that. And as head of the internship program at Veena World, we have been doing that. But at the same time, we have invested a lot in our digital presence, whether it's the usual characters as Facebook or Instagram, but even if you look at YouTube, we are trying to push our tour managers to learn more because the end experience has to be more. So one thing that we have learned through digital technology and all of that, and I'll keep it short, has been that service has been important in the past. Service is going to be important in the future. And it's not going to be about that one file or ispe mera kitna profit ho raha hai, but the large scale picture that you look at. Are you able to sustain as an organization? So that is a brief thing that I would like to say as we start this panel discussion.
Sure, Neil. So you're clearly saying that service is the key word here. Service in the past and service in the post-pandemic world is a given. And you're saying you as friends, when you're having informal conversations, the conversations hover around connections, and it's more about experiential tourism, and it's all about giving back in the most sustainable way.
I'll say that it's about experiential tourism, but at the same time, it need not be that only experiences like skydiving or scuba diving or wining and dining with the animals in Africa. Even a small experience like organizing a small trip to Imagica in Maharashtra should be thought of that, oh, this person has invested his or her hard-earned money, and you don't have any right to play around with it. And as a result, if you devote all of your energies towards that as almost everyone at Veena World is doing, we are devoting all of our energies to each and every traveler that is coming to us. Now, Leh Ladakh is there, there's Kashmir happening, there's Rajasthan, there's Kerala, and there's so much that you can see in incredible India, right? So that's why my thing is give importance to every traveler, irrespective of the transaction size or that file size.
Neil, thank you very much. I'm going to bring you back in a bit because I have I don't want to call them panelists anymore because they are your friends. And rightfully so, because you guys are the future really. And thank you very much because thank you for giving us this energy. It's so, so important. When the world was saying travel is shut, you four or more colleagues like you decided that no way, I'm not going to give up this at such a young age. You have a brilliant career of 30 years more, each one of you. So the travel is in your hands. My next speaker is all the way from India, and that's Karan Vakharia. Karan recently started an interesting division called EduWorld because he saw faith in diversifying within the travel mold. Interestingly, Karan has been a sports enthusiast. Karan started working with the pioneers of sporting league, the IPL, along with BCCI and IMG for 3 years. His passion for travel convinced him to join his company, Pathfinder's Holidays, in 2014. And he decided to get involved full-time in the family business. He is today the director of his company and majorly takes care of business development of the company. He has traveled extensively, needless to say, and he uses this experience, practical knowledge, and extensive global contacts. Mind that. He says his global contacts is his key to create and curate unique luxury holiday experiences. Very early in his career in the business, he won the prestigious Gold Award from Wedding Sutra for travel, for trend-setting honeymoon holiday curation. Congratulations, Karan. The future is really bright when we speak about this whole experience with you. Karan, Neil mentioned an interesting gamut about service, and service is the key. And it doesn't matter whether you are a traveler to Imagica or you're a traveler to Iceland, the formula is the same, service. Karan, what's your entire vision? You come from a city of travelers. I mean, Gujarat is vibrant. Irrespective, you cater to the global market, Karan. Karan, what gave you the motivation, number one, to start EduWorld? Secondly, what do you think is there in the bouquet to offer in 2020, 40, maybe 2040? How do you define your business picking up? The platform.
Hi, Reema. Thank you for asking this lovely question. And I would like to start by saying last year, 2020, when the pandemic hit us, all of us in the travel industry never realized what is in the plate for us, and how it helped us at Pathfinders is because all of us working here, especially me, my parents, we were pretty optimistic about the travel industry. The positivity that came from my parents also really helped me, and that was one of the most important factor that kept us going at Pathfinders. And there is a lot of experience that comes when you have your parents involved in the same business and they have given 30 years to the industry. So that really keeps you pushing every minute when you join this business and a pandemic hits you and you don't realize what to do, because you're still trying to fill up those big boots of your parents and you're still trying to learn a lot of things. But I have immense confidence and belief in the travel fraternity. History is evidence that civilizations developed and progressed because of the need to travel. So travel is definitely here to stay, and I am sure that people will travel, if not today, tomorrow, in the same way that they did before 2020. But during this 2 years, when we realized that there were lockdowns coming in for 2 to 3 months, we realized that we only did business for 2 months, 3 months. Then again, we came to a stop, and then again, we were wondering what to do. At that time, we realized that we have been doing visas since a very long time, more than 20 years. And Pathfinder's EduWorld was an idea that we were working upon since a couple of years. And I felt this was the right time where we could get into it, give our full attention, and open it up to the audience, because what we see is not tourists traveling right now, but there were a lot of people, maybe students or investor visas or people wanting to immigrate to different countries. We had a lot of inquiries coming in, and we couldn't cater to them because we never paid attention when the tourism department was on for us. So I felt these 2 years were really important, where it told us and gave us that idea that no, tourism is not the only thing, but this is another vertical that we can totally focus upon because we have the know-how. And that is how recently we launched Pathfinder's EduWorld. And maybe we were not too sure how it will come and it will give us the results, but trust me, in the last 2 months we have got some good amount of inquiries, and we have really done very well, and also not only Pathfinder's EduWorld, but I feel with the tourism also, there have been times when people have been very eager to travel, and only when there were lockdowns people have not traveled, but after that we have seen people traveling left, right and center. Maybe international is shut right now, but when you see domestic places in the country, there are every property possible is full. So it is one thing to remember that tourism is not going to stop. Maybe it has come at a bend and is again going to start the way it did before pandemic. It's a time till the vaccines are rolled out and everyone is sorted and people will get back to traveling. Um, the other question that you asked me, that what is the new tourism that you're looking at maybe in 2040 or something. So my dream that I always had was to arrange and offer a space tourism to my clients. I don't know if this is going to happen so soon or not, but thanks to the players like Virgin and Tesla, along with a few other companies which are driving this forward, I am sure if they put the effort that they are right now, I am sure we are looking at something like space tourism very soon.
Wow. So you're clearly saying that as you famously, we are at the bend of the road and not necessarily at the end of the road. And it's all about an interesting journey that we are taking towards a positive expectation for the future. You brought in a point about space tourism, which is doable, very, very doable, maybe in the near future. And, we're probably not seeing it as it is, but you're very confident that this is a workable solution.
Yeah, I guess if we talk about it in 2040,
yes.
We still have 20 years. And with the technology that is coming in every month, every 6 months, every year, you can only expect something extraordinary to happen in this world.
Sure. And you're very clearly saying that you obviously picked up from where your parents have, built this whole experience, and you're taking it forward with the help of technology, with the help of new thought processes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Karan. My thing is, we are all talking about a journey that you guys are having faith in. And our next speaker, I really don't want to sound as filmy as I can, but we have Karan and Arjun. Like, this is it. Okay, like I couldn't believe you guys are like, okay, so there is Karan and now there's Arjun. Arjun Chaubal, who's the director of Kesri Towards Private Limited. Well, Arjun completed his education from Symbiosis Center for Management Studies from Pune. He started, very interestingly, at the age of 23, Arjun told me on the sidelines that I started young. He started a company called Backpacking Company, titled as Backpacker Voyages in 2017 when he was 23. Now you can guess his age, guys. I'm not going to tell you that. He presently looks after the commercials and contracting for international group tours at Kesari. Arjun, welcome.
Thank you so much, Reema.
Pleasure. And good luck to you. You told me you're stuck in Pune. You really want to come back to Bombay, but trust me, Pune is happy as well. My question is, let's admit, Kesari is a brand name as truly a legacy player in the market, all right?
Mm-hmm.
My father started the dream when he was at 50. You're taking his dream forward at 25, halfway through. Isn't that perfect?
Definitely. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. It's a pleasure. And like you said, I am a third generation in the business now. Yes. And it's been a great journey so far. I am 28 now, not 25. But anyway, like I said, tourism is something that is never going to die. I'm sure everyone will agree with me over here on the panel. Um, it's just something that is here to stay, you know? And I believe that maybe the way tourism happens may change. Uh, the booking platforms may change. The way people travel may change. But we as legacy players, as you say, we need to find a way to adapt and find opportunity in these transition times and just take it forward from there, because every time tourism has seen adverse anything, may it be the swine flu in 2009 or probably the depression before that, um, every time tourism has faced an adverse drop or decline, it has bounced back much harder. Like it has bounced back 20%, 30% of what it was the previous year. So I am truly optimistic, and I am pretty sure that this pandemic also is going to, it will pass once vaccination does happen. And we just have to, like I said, just adapt to the changes that will be taking place throughout this transition phase. Also, it also gives us time to reflect on ourselves as a company. We have had to take many tough decisions, and it just gave us a lot of time to reflect and better our processes, and make us more compliant and ready for the future. Like I said, once it bounces back hard. So we need to be ready for that, and just be ready as a company and take it forward, I guess.
Absolutely. I think, Arjun, what you're saying is very clear that when the going gets tough, invest more in your brand. You said, you were honest enough to tell me that your company took tough decisions. It might not be easy on you. It was not easy on anyone, I must admit. But all the more with companies like you all, because you all are traditionally known as group players. Group travel is your forte. And the first thing that went out of the market literally was travel, and obviously group travel. I mean, people are not going to clutter and clamor with 40 people going on a European holiday together, maybe not. But as you said, we want to know at Kesari, what is that new dynamism that you brought in, saying that what if group travel is not the way forward anymore? You invested, you said, in your brand. Do you want to elaborate maybe one or 2 points on that one?
See, like I said, travel is here to stay. Travel, the way people travel may change post-pandemic. But we at Kesari honestly want to we are as optimistic as saying that, group travel will happen. It will stay. It is here to stay. So that is something that we're banking on at the moment. And like I said, we would want to be ready for the future. So even if travel does change, maybe we might see a shift to, more of individual or family travel rather than group travel, but we will be ready for that as well. So we have our, packages and everything in line based on the changing requirements and needs of the customer. So that is something that is something that the pandemic has given us. It's given us time to reflect and create more packages or align ourselves to the future, moving ahead in the post-pandemic world.
Yeah. So you all definitely went back to the drawing board. I'm sure most companies have done that, but more so with Reemarkabl and with Kesari or with, group travel experts. I'm sure all of you all went back to the drawing board, right? And did a bit of re-engineering or maybe redesigning of the whole concept. But as you said, Arjun, and I take your good word for it, that group travel, you're being extremely positive, will come back.
Definitely.
Cautions will come back. I take that word from you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Arjun. We're going to get you back soon because your friend's waiting there all the way from Chennai. And should we clearly say, Neeraj Gupta, thank you so much for being part of this whole beautiful journey with us on Remarkable. And you have been absolutely positive. I mean, I keep seeing your posts, your Insta, whether it's Neil, whether it's you, whether it's Karan and Arjun, you guys are totally giving out those positive messages. And you guys are so Insta connected, literally. I mean, it's beautiful to see that. Neeraj Gupta, ladies and gentlemen, is the director, of course, of PK Holidays. But interestingly, he commenced his journey in 2009, when once again the company saw opportunity on a very interesting flight from Chennai to Amritsar. Maybe Neeraj, you'll speak about it. But that's when he felt, I can do this. I can get people moving from Chennai to Amritsar on a morning evening flight, experience the Golden Temple, Jallianwala Bagh, eat some lovely Punjabi dishes and come back. That was his first jump into the travel world. Though part of the family business, he worked on demanding projects that converted them, and he converted them into successful tourism ventures. This further gave him the confidence and calling to decide on a career within the tourism industry. His curiosity and acute business sense guided him to the world of MICE first, and then, of course, luxury travel and its intricacies in the year 2011. However, it was the world of travel, of luxury travel, that gave him the right calling. Since then, it was known looking back for Neeraj. Neeraj, we can see you firmly placed well in that picture with a pile of books around you. And you constantly tell me, Reema, I want to get more knowledge. I want to travel more, explore more. And as Karan said, the more I explore, the more I build my contacts, the more I am connected with my people. One call in Los Angeles or one call in Holland, and we all sorted. I'm sure you guys have that brilliant connection, and it's all about network. Neeraj Gupta, I bring you in on a very interesting point about, we saw this beautiful post during the pandemic saying luxury has been redefined. Having coffee with your loved ones is luxury. It's not about the glamour and the glitz. It's about being grounded. So luxury has obviously redefined itself in the spirit of the entire world. You want to just walk on the beach with your partner. You want to just have some fun with your kids on a trek. Neeraj Gupta, what's Luxury 2030 all about, please?
So thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, Reema. I'm pretty much overwhelmed with all those words. Yeah, luxury. So I've had quite a journey in travel industry. I've completed actually 10 years in 2021 officially, being part of PK Holidays. So it's been quite an interesting journey, and I cherish all of that and try to learn more and incorporate more ideas and unique kind of proposals into the business where we can expand it with, because travel is about emotion. I feel that people need to go out there and meet each other and exchange of culture, food, and different kind of experiences. And like you said, it's little things that make a journey special. And that's what I believe, that for every individual there is something that they want to look forward to. So that's how I realized the luxury FIT market, where it gave me the idea of proposing. It gave me the idea of proposing basically different unique experiences that I had the privilege of going to different destinations around the world and getting the first hand look at it. So I started off my journey with New Zealand and South Africa and Australia. They were my core destinations to send my clients to, and that's how I understood how the itinerary is curated for individual traveler. So it's basically how the whole pandemic, how it has basically made me realize a lot of things. Is travel is something that all my other fellow friends have told, it's not going to go out of fashion. It is something that goes along with human evolution. But the way we travel has changed. So in the past, the previous generations used a different way of traveling, different ideas of traveling. And the current generation, they are looking at a different perspective of travel. It's a lot about social media and highlighting the destination and where they are. So that plays quite a vital role in our itinerary planning. A lot of them come up on their own and are curious to ask, okay, where is this place? How do we access? How do we get there? So, as a holiday designer, it has become a little challenging for us because we need to be on our toes and be updated on all the latest trends that are happening around, and find out how we can establish contact in that particular destination. Because earlier, Europe, for example, meant only like Switzerland, Italy, and France, and the main cities. Now it's changing. The younger generation, basically people who are more aware, are wanting to travel to the local cities and have like beautiful experiences, probably like a cheese making experience, or like a pizza making experience in Italy, or gelato, whatever. So earlier, people used to think, okay, get a fridge magnet or a keychain, that could be a souvenir. But now they want to learn a skill, they want to learn a craft and come back with that. So you invite friends over and you make the dish that you just recently learned from your travel, and your friends will ask you, oh, how did you make this sort of stuff? So you feel proud that, okay, I learned a skill and came back. So it's a lot about different changes that are being incorporated, and we have to basically go along with the flow. So for that, I feel quite privileged to get a kickstart from my father, of course, who started the company back in '94, and I realized that I can network and take it further. And like Karan said, it's quite important to have a good PR and a very good contact network around the world. So basically you're not used to saying no. That's one key factor that I realized, that people get more confident uh, booking a holiday with you when you have actually been there and you know what you're doing. So yeah, that's pretty much. So luxury is it's quite an overrated word, but it's basically just how an individual looks at it. It could be just holding hands and walking on the beach, like you said, with a loved one, or setting up like a private tent somewhere on the mountains and waking up to that view. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be basically how you look at it.
That's absolutely, Neeraj. I obviously second that your contacts and network is so important in this business, as Karan obviously mentioned in his word. And obviously, even what Neil said, it's the network, your connections, your service, and the vision that it's possible.
Yeah.
Because you're investing your time in a career and giving yourselves this as your future career with a lot of thought. As I said in my introductory speech, you're all out of your comfort zones and you're all here to make that difference. So I appreciate it really. I mean, I'm sure y'all are really working towards something bigger, brighter, which I'm sure time will tell. Neil, I want to get you back on a certain subject, which is in fact an audience question. While we read about you were so into, you said you're part of the technology with Reemarkabl. Can you please tell us, in this 1 year, Neil, in this 1 year, what is it that you've noticed that's so drastic in terms of customer demand, or is there a fear factor, something that's come into your system with technology that you say, oh, hang on there, this doesn't work anymore, and maybe this works?
Well, Reema, I'd like to circle back. Like, they often say that with every person that you meet, they give you something and you should always hold on to that. So, like with Karan and Neeraj, I've had the chance to be on a number of FAMs, and Arjun, like, of course, many times I'm always talking to him, right? But something that Karan and Neeraj once told me that, Karan has worked in the IPL, right? And at that time, Karan had mentioned that, IMG is running the IPL, and even if the match starts at 8:01, they have to pay the BCCI something, which meant that you have to be disciplined in a lot of your things. So what we are doing is that when we are creating user experiences, when someone comes into your office or when someone has booked your tour, you try to have the user experience in such a manner that it is organized and it is like whatever information that a guest needs at the time of booking or after booking. Agar main tour pe ja raha hu, what should I pack? What should I be taking along? What is the weather over there? Who is my tour manager? These are required at different stages of the customer journey. So that's what I take from it. And then, I brought it in where we are trying to send guest information in short snippets, but at the right time. And then I was saying, I've taken something from Neeraj too, right? And one of the things that I've really learned from Neeraj over a period of time, whenever I visit Chennai, there's always a meal that both of us have together. But he once told me that, Neil, whenever someone comes for a luxury inquiry with me, I make it a point that I meet them only 2 or 3 times. More than 3 times, I'm not going to meet them, which actually showcases clarity of thought, right? You are to the point, you are giving all of the information that is there, and you're taking all of the information that is there. More than 3 meetings means that either the party on the opposite side is not doing their job properly, or us as travel agents are not doing our job properly. So the clarity of thought is something that we've brought in our tour manager trainings also, where guests are demanding up-to-date information all the time. But if you're in a Leh Ladakh and from Leh to Pangong Lake is a 5-hour journey, how do you talk for 5 hours is something that you should know. But at the same time, to go from Leh to just your hotel to Leh market is a 5-minute journey. But if you have clarity of thought, you can drive your point in 5 minutes also, and in 5 hours also. So with every person you meet, you get something or the other, right? So all of us are always exchanging ideas. I try to pick on them and then see how this can implement in the business. So that's how we've been doing over the years. And then this pandemic has also been the same thing. It's just that, we are seeing each other on a camera instead of in person. And that is the only disadvantage. But oh well, at home, the only thing that is working is your mind. And if you don't put your mind to use, and if you just watch Netflix, then it's not going to make a huge difference in your life, right? So that's the approach all of us at Reemarkabl have taken. And then trying to satisfy all of the needs and wants of our guests, as we call customers at Reemarkabl, right? So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. So you're being very conscious. You're being very conscious on the small aspects of what could be probably the future of travel. You said, you used the word mind, but I go ahead and saying you're doing something which is mindful. Yeah, you're being very mindful about the smallest aspects of a certain travel plan. And that's going to work for the future, like being mindful about your customer to the T.
Well, being mindful and being socially aware. A customer or a guest is not always going to come to you with a requirement. As a Reemarkabl tour manager, you have to keep your eyes open all the time, right? 24/7. You should know what someone is facing. Is someone finding it difficult to pick up a bag and go into the hotel? Be there to help that person. Is someone facing difficulty walking on snow because they have slippery shoes? You should be there to give your hand out. Once everyone is seated on the dinner table, and if it's a buffet, as a tour manager, you should know that they are going to get up and go for another serving of rotis. You pick up the roti basket and go to the table. So being socially aware, being, like you rightly said, mindful is what is going to drive you. And as the team that works at the office, you should know what are the difficulties that you might face. And one of the best examples of it is a feature that Zomato launched recently, where after ordering, they let you record voice instructions, because the Zomato guy calls you, sir, parcel kidhar rakhu, but you're on a Zoom call. And if you don't answer, then he's either whining or something like that. So being mindful of that, Zomato came up with this record voice instructions. So you also don't have to answer the call. That person also doesn't have to do. So this is something that we are actually looking at, where I again come back to user journey, customer journey. And it's more fun when you look at it that way, because no one is perfect. You can't be perfect. There's always something that that you can improve on.
Perfect, Neil. Thank you for this interesting. You went a notch ahead saying how technology can enhance your customer experience. You took the example of Zomato. Yes, fine. That's literally in the food service industry. But travel can be literally, like co-sisters there, because it's all about service. You started with service. You're always pushing service, and you're speaking about mindful understanding of your customer. And you also said it's about making mistakes and admitting to it, because we're all on a journey. Right, Neil? I understand this, and with absolute humility. You've been so humble, because you call yourself first a tour operator, then director and founder, Reemarkabl. So you are,
I guess there shouldn't be hierarchy, right? As the flatter your organization is, there's going to be less politics, and if there's less politics, there's just going to be more work that is going to be done. So
this is Gen Next talking. Let me be honest. This is Gen Next talking, where you guys literally talk about a flat world, open door policies, no cabins, people walk in, your junior most staff can to come and talk to you. It's not about sitting in your silos.
yeah, exactly. Like I remember dad once told me that, if you have a problem on tour, and if you're as a tour manager, you have a headache, why just tell the guests also, right? Tell the guests what the problem is. They might actually help you in solving it. So, and I've actually used this over on tours many times, and it actually helps. Share the problem, be transparent, and that I have seen that work, and all of our tour managers would also agree to that.
So thank you, Gen Next. You've given me some interesting pointers saying flatter the organization, open door policies, transparency with your customers works.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yep.
I see Karan smiling away there. Karan, when he mentioned about, a world of lesser doors and more windows, literally. So Karan, what is it? Your friend Neil just mentioned with BCCI when you worked. Is there a take home that you learned from the sports arena that you really want to apply to your travel arena?
Yeah, like Neil clearly said, I guess the work that I did for 2 years with IMG, I guess no other institution or a B school could ever teach me, because that was a practical experience that I learned. I learned how I need to be punctual, and which is very important for the industry that we are. 5 minutes delay, maybe you will not get that ticket for your client. 10 minutes delay, maybe he'll miss a train journey or something of that sort. So I really realized how important it was to be particular and be focused on what I wanted to do when I joined this industry. Obviously, when your parents are there and they have a certain way of functioning, so obviously that clash was bound to come, where we would have tons of arguments. We would shout at each other. They would want things to be done in a certain way, and I would want to do things in a certain way. But I guess over a period of time, they have realized how the next generation wants to deal with it. Like Neil said, that no cabins. It has to be a very flat relation with everyone in the office, and that is what I love. Till date, dad has a cabin, and I still sit out with my team members. And that is what I love, because when I start interacting with them, when I start talking about different things with them, it's not that I am the only one who knows about everything about travel. So much information comes from my team members also. So I really feel that from IMG point of view, yes, I have learned how to be very particular about things, and it has also taught me no one is your boss. You all work for each other, you all work together, and together that you work, you will only take yourself and the company ahead and grow.
Great. So very interesting pointer you spoke about, Karan, not realizing the aspect of punctuality. And you said that this trade needs to understand that, because you can't goof up on time.
You cannot goof up on time. The only thing that you need to be particular is obviously how your planning is there when it comes to holidays.
Yes.
But you have to be on time. We work with the entire world right now. Every country is in a different time zone. If you don't respect time and don't work according to the time is not going to respect back, and it will just leave you there.
Beautiful. I like that. He's saying if you don't respect time, time doesn't respect you. Karan, that's profound. And, I'm sure, you're feeling good about the fact that you are imbibing that culture down the line and in the future, because your confidence speaks about the fact that your experience, as you said, what the B school didn't give you, gave you.
Yeah.
So that's it, Karan. That's beautiful. In fact, thank you so much.
I guess the only fear now that I have is, since so many months that my parents are not back in office, maybe with the new culture, they're just going to feel odd when they're back in office.
My God. So you have brought some drastic changes out there, is it?
Oh, absolutely.
And they're not going to recognize your own place they built. Their own baby they built, not going to be recognizable. Interesting. Arjun, why am I doing Karan and Arjun? But I have, but this is too much. I mean, I can't believe it's happening like that. But Arjun, there is a question that came to me, especially for you, Arjun. Um, with Kesri such a brand name today, is there something you really felt that absolutely this is not working, guys? Did you tell mom and dad, or did you tell mom specially, or your uncle, or whoever heads it, or grandpa, saying that, grandpa, please wipe this off the board of Kesri? This is what I want in there. Arjun, do you think that's happening with you? Are you feeling that curiosity and that impatience to say, Kesri mein ye to change lana hai mujhe?
I mean, the thought does occur sometimes, but then there are a lot of things that everyone in the family has done to build the organization, and you got to respect that to a great extent, right? And sometimes there are a few processes that I feel that can be improved, but in the end, it's all about the responsibility. I mean, I do get it done, like I can do it. So it's not that something is, this is completely wrong. There is nothing in the organization that would be completely wrong, because the organization wouldn't have done as well as it is doing at the moment. So there's nothing absolutely wrong, but of course, everyone has their own viewpoint. And as Gen Next, of course, there are usually sometimes, clashing thoughts with, like you said, uncle or mom or whoever is there. So, but then it's always a healthy discussion. We put our points together and then we come to a conclusion on that. And they're all super supportive, and everyone, we hear each other out, and eventually we come to a conclusion. So there's nothing in particular that I would want to say that is completely wrong.
Right. But in 2022, take for granted, 2022, I would like to say, something we're going to see new that Kesri is bringing on board, keeping certain parameters in mind, please?
Like I said, 2022, the last year, we've all had a lot of time to reflect on the organization, the processes, and make a lot of changes to adapt to the future and be ready for the future. Like we said, the way travel does take place may change, the way people travel may change, but travel is not going to stop. So we have to be ready for that, and that is what we're doing on the back end. This has given us a lot of time to change that.
Yeah. So you're reinvesting in your brand, is what you're saying.
Yes. To a certain extent, yes.
Yes. Fair, Arjun, absolutely fair. And you are obviously sticking to the India story, because it started with India for you all. In Veena World, you're also India oriented also, though global, of course, but India oriented also. And of course, Karan is thinking global. He does so many international stories, along with Neeraj, of course. Neeraj, when we're coming to you, for you particularly, are you seeing the file that comes to you now, not discussing too much on price points? How important has become price points with luxury, please? Is it, I mean, there is a certain element to luxury, but post the vaccinated world, do you think the files are going to change in its look and feel?
So yeah, definitely, Reema, the price point plays an important role when you're planning an itinerary, especially for a luxury client. But they are the clients that really don't mind spending when you're giving them a quality experience and something that's out of the ordinary. So there, it's quite a thin line that you differentiate between the price and the experience. So for that, we need to evaluate whether it is actually worth it or not, and then I present it to my clients, honestly. And post whenever travel opens internationally, I'm sure that we will see a big boom in travel, because a lot of them, at least one good thing that's come out of the pandemic, is a lot of them are going to take out the money from their walls and use it for travel and create memories. Like, most of their friends probably are sharing pictures on Instagram and Facebook, reminiscing about their past holidays, but they have nothing but just money in their account. So probably they would spend that now and create more memories and step out and see more beautiful places. And that's the feedback I've been getting from a lot of my friends and my clients. Whenever we ask them, okay, are you planning to travel, or what is it that you, how can we make your itinerary planning seamless, basically. So a lot of them are concerned a little bit about the privacy part of it. So we will see definitely a big boom in FIT travel. Of course, my friends Neil and Karan, of course, they will also do brilliantly well because there are always different sections of travelers. But we will have a lot of different itineraries that will come into play. And like I said, the newer generation is quite into self-drive as well. So I had seen from the last, before the pandemic, for the last 5, 6 years, a big boom in self-drive market. So they are becoming independent. So definitely they need a travel designer to guide them through, because most of them who are spending that kind of money do not really invest too much time on planning their holiday, and rather rely on somebody more experienced and expert sort of a person. So that's the future of travel that I see. And like I told in the previous comment as well, that people will look forward to get a skill back. So I have been getting a lot of requests like that in the past as well. Like probably they wanted to learn horse riding. So we have done that in the past, where we do a 2-day session of horseback riding tours, and golf, or like food making, depending on the interest. There could be like a husband going on a Ferrari drive experience, and the wife hiring a personal shopper and going out, hands-free shopping experience. So that's the future. I feel that people are more aware now, and they're not
Uh-huh.
going to get fooled by whatever we have to say. So they know what they want pretty much.
And you know what to give them.
Yeah. So that's why Neil, I'm glad that he remembered that point. Yeah. So that's why the 2 or 3 meeting that I do, either on call or face to face, because you understand whether you will be able to work with this person or not. Because there's a certain drive that I have, that I want my clients to be in this particular way, because I can't just take in all the bookings that come my way. And if there's no understanding, there will be complaints, there will be some mishaps that will happen. So uh, rather avoid it beforehand than get greedy and take that work. So that's my philosophy.
Absolutely. And what I really see amongst this generation, you guys have serious camaraderie, na? I can see this very interesting, happy conversation. Really, you're there. I mean, I'm not saying it just because you're all my panel. I'm saying it because I mean it. Whether it's Arjun, whether it's Neil, whether it's Karan, you, I can see this camaraderie where you're here to support each other. Actually,
Sorry to interrupt you. What you're not seeing is behind the scene on WhatsApp, the messages that are going on
I so get it. You guys are like
Yeah.
really
right now.
We've honestly known each other for a while now.
This
mean,
is
Yeah.
this
all
is
four of
yeah,
us.
this is
And
probably the longest we've gone without banter, Reema.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you
And I
put
take
the 4 of us on a panel and we've barely spoken to each other. So
so I'm the policeman here, but it's all right. I prefer doing that for a bit. But I'm impressed. I'm genuinely impressed because you reflect, what you guys reflect is absolutely clear camaraderie and no insecurities. I loved what Neeraj said, that we're all going to grow together, whether it's Neil growing together, Arjun growing together, Karan doing his own bit. You guys are saying we're in it together. That's such a beautiful statement, and that gives me hope that the industry in the future is going to be of thought leaders who are saying very clearly that it's possible together. We are not here to say that one's better, that one's not doing as well. That is Gen Next, I think. That is Gen Next, which is saying, cut the crap, get to the point, and get focused on what we can deliver to our clients. As Neeraj said very clearly, skill-based. I want to come back and say I did batik painting in Indonesia. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. As he said, horse riding. I did scuba diving somewhere. I mean, I've never explored that world. And, maybe you guys can give that world to me. As I said, what is it that I'm going to learn from you? I have learned so much more. As we wind up, because we are exactly 6 minutes off my deadline and I want to start and end on time. One last question, Neil. What's your final one line on travel, please? What is it that you 100% believe why travel is my career?
see, travel helps you celebrate life. And if you celebrate life, all of the things fall into place. It's as simple as that. So we love what we do because we can see the experiences that people are getting and how they get very emotional on tour. And that is why we continue doing what we are doing, and we continue adding newer and newer things. We now, the podcasts are something that, travel, you can't travel right now. Okay, travel ke bare mein sunte hai. You, so it's something like that. So it helps you celebrate life, and we won't stop celebrating life. And that is why you just continue doing what you do, right?
Beautiful. So as I said, I started this tagline, and I'm purposely doing these sessions on tourism, travel and tourism, the future frame, as a continued series, because I believe that tourism is about positive stories, and you can't write this industry off. People always say, "Kuch nahi ho raha, ye nahi ho raha, wo nahi ho raha hai." Let's talk about the positive. And Neil, you summed it up beautifully, saying celebrate life. And as you said, you like to see your people happy on tours. I remember, when you all did these all ladies tours, and when you all take women on holidays, I've heard moms saying women are crying on their tours because they feel so empowered suddenly. So what travel does is it also empowers people. So yes, celebration and empowerment, Neil. Thank you so much. Karan, your vision, why you believe that this is my career and nothing else.
I guess we have from very young age always seen what our parents did, and when they did something, they brought a smile on to each and every customer's face. When we got passionate about travel, I realized that I want to get into this is because yes, I love traveling. I can absolutely do something which will bring a smile on someone's face. And after so many years of doing something, I've always heard someone come back and say, "Thank you so much. We had the best time together as a family. Thank you for creating something where we enjoyed together." And this is one motivation that keeps me going, that, I am creating something for my clients, for my audience, which is keeping them happy, which is making them enjoy together. And with so much exposure, I am now able to do so much, which maybe earlier my parents were not able to do. And it is still bringing joy to each and every client that Pathfinders deals with. So I guess passion is one thing that really will keep you going. Keep your head in the game, focus on what you want to do, and you will absolutely love the job that you do, because you will absolutely keep each and everyone happy that you send on a holiday.
So beautifully summed up, Karan. Thank you so much. It's about passion, to be focused on your job. And you said something very interesting, that what kept you going was a little thank you that came from your client. As they said, today,
Yes,
they couldn't even buy us oxygen, literally. That's what we realized. You can have the money, but not oxygen, yeah? But what
absolutely.
you do is maybe just build beautiful memories with your family. I mean, I am only going to cherish that. Really, I'm telling you, I always cherish that. All the more, really, I'm breathing now, but all the more to stay saying that, okay, I had that beautiful memory somewhere. It needn't be Manhattan, it could be Mathiran for her, for my sake. But you're saying, as Neil said, even a holiday to Kopoli is fine. Then yeah, to get that.
Absolutely, because that's the only thing that you're doing. You're
Yes.
only working your entire life. That is one trip that you do with your family, is where you make memories, where you remember occasions that you spend together, and you will, after 20 years, also still open up a picture and remember that this is what we did 20 years back.
Brilliant. Arjun, your take on, of course, your dream of travel and why you want to make it your career at such a young age, and mostly, how do you see, do you see tier 2 cities of India really coming up? Because with K3's bandwidth today, you guys have Kolhapur and, all the other places along with you. Do you see travel touching that point of your living today? Your one word for travel and your career, and of course this little bit from you.
Definitely. First of all, like Karan said, growing up in a family, in a travel family is the best experience ever. I mean, I'm so fortunate to have, been able to travel as much as I have and received the exposure at this age, which maybe probably my parents or grandparents didn't have. So there is so much more that can be done. And for that, that's what we are looking forward to doing in the future. So that is why travel, I would say, would definitely be, why I would want to be in the industry. And you touched upon the tier 2 cities, right?
Yes,
So
please.
I think so there's a lot of Gen Next travelers in India, the youth of India who is looking at travel more extensively than what they did previously. So definitely there is a huge market for it. And if we touch up upon that, it would definitely be worth it, like, because the needs and requirements for them is different from the traditional travel that we've been into, the group travel, as you said. So maybe a backpacking travel or something of that sort would definitely be way ahead in the future as well. So we can look at that.
Absolutely. No, because I remember in my previous panel, Manish Kriplani literally told me, Reema, people are not waiting anymore to celebrate. As Neil said, you kept speaking about celebration, Neil. Manish Kriplani from Baywatch always told me on my panel that, Reema, we don't have the time. They want to celebrate now. And in his villa, apparently, it was really hilarious. This guy who was celebrating his 40th birthday, but he claimed to be 50, so he made this big thing about it. He said, I don't know whether I'm going to live till 50. I want to make my 50th now only. So celebrate abhi idhar. So it's like, as you're saying, things are changing, mindsets are changing, the youth travel is changing. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you, Neil, for bringing that celebration aspect. And Karan, so much for punctuality. Neeraj, your final take on what it is that you're not going to give up on this business, that you believe in it and not go to another career.
I make people's dream come alive. So I believe in that. When, like Karan said, pretty much, when they come back, they have a smile on their face, when everything goes right on a holiday. So people must have saved, all their life probably, and just to take that one particular holiday. And if I am a part of creating that holiday for them, there's no better joy that you can get. And yeah, it's also the exposure that you get. No other business can actually give you this kind of exposure where you meet who's who of the world, and you interact with so many different personalities, be it your clients or people from different, your suppliers, hoteliers. And the bandwidth of contacts that you create in this industry is just humongous. So definitely there's a bright future to it. You just need to be passionately sticking to it, and create your own niche in the market, and not follow just, don't be a follower of the herd. Just try to understand what you are good at and what you can create, and that's where you can make money as well. If you just constantly fight with whatever is going on, you will end up in the price war, and not have your own niche and identity, what you should be known for.
Absolutely. So you're saying very clearly, if you're passionate and if you're focused, as Karan also said about punctuality, the money will come. Yeah. But honestly, people are leaving this industry because it's hard to survive. Why I brought four of you on, because you believe that you all are here to survive, and you all are going to make money, and you all are making money is what you are saying. It's very interesting because you guys are saying that travel mein paisa bhi hai, and travel is about passion, about celebration, about punctuality, discipline, and also the fact that by the end of the day, the smile on the client. But you're saying money can be made in this industry. You're all four of y'all are giving a clear message that if you think you can't make money here, you can. And that's why, not only because of money, but it's also because of literally memories. Yeah, it's about both these beautiful balances together, which makes up our beautiful travel industry, I guess. Yeah, and you want to say something, Neeraj?
Yeah, so I was telling that, if you're a person who's outgoing and can actually make contacts with your clients, and you can talk about places confidently, only then probably you would actually be in that position to make good money. Otherwise, you would just be one of the person who's following what others are doing. So that's the only thing that I would like to enhance, that if you're confident and if you are passionate and motivated and an outspoken person, only then come in and you'll be a good player.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you said, go do your market research, go find your own little itineraries, and do not do a copy paste job.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, which I respect, which I completely understand. Guys, it's been fabulous 1 year. 1 year, I'm saying 1 hour. I enjoyed it. I don't know, four of you, I'm sure by the time we log off, you guys are going to like text each other in Ahmedabad, Chennai, Pune, and Mumbai. I mean, come on, we're all in different zones, but I think we're going to have a happy conversation after this. But quickly, just to sum up for my beautiful audience who've been so diligent with me, they've spoken about service, they've spoken about celebration, they've spoken about punctuality, discipline, flat organizations without any barriers, sensitivity to your client is what the next generation believes. They believe the money is there if you're putting your head confidently into it. It's not about, the price wars, but it's about finding your own little niche in this whole ball game and believing in your client and the client believing in you. And me at Reemarkabl only have faith in my Gen Next. Reemarkabl was a brand that I started literally with one single mission and vision to give stories of sense and not sensationalism. I'm sticking to my policy, and I hope together we can grow, because I need support as well to give our beautiful stories. And the more we connect, the more we explore, and the more we live our lives together. Thank you so much. If you can, do subscribe to my channel. I'm so horrible to speak about myself, but if you believe in me, I'll be very happy to have you with us on my journey with Reemarkabl. All four of you, my beautiful panelists, thank you so much. I feel so proud that it was worth my while, because I learned so much. I learned so much from all of you who are far younger than me. And thank you for teaching me. I appreciate it. And let's
thank you.
Stay connected, stay healthy, prosperous, and keep flying. Good luck.